How do you replace Kirk Cousins in Dynasty right now? You're a contender. He was your solid, reliable QB2, and you've just lost him. How are you going to find those points again? Well, I'm Dynasty Ireland, and I'm here to walk you through what I would do in those shoes. So, first thing you're going to look at is there somebody that I can cobble those points together on my roster? If you're in a Superflex league, hopefully you've got a QB3, hopefully you've got a QB4 that is starting. Will those guys produce enough to be able to push me towards that title that I'm chasing? If not, we need to start looking externally. You're not going to be able to go and get a replacement on the waiver wire, which means you've got to go out and spend some capital to go and bring somebody in. I'm going to walk you through 3 types of player that you can go and buy right now. The big swing. Now, these guys aren't coming cheap, but they are all undervalued on where their potential production could be. Deshaun Watson, we know the contract gives him that stability. He's not been producing. He's been abysmal since he's been in Cleveland, but the potential is there. This offense could potentially get going, and he could be the fantasy star that we saw in Houston, again in Cleveland. Trevor Lawrence is an absolute star. You just don't realize it yet. He has been so good, but the fantasy numbers haven't got there. This offense is getting there. It's starting to kick into gear, but there is a whole new ceiling that he can kick into. He is going to have a phenomenal second half of the year. I just know it. And then Kyler Murray. For some reason, the fantasy community is determined to throw Kyler Murray on the scrap heap and say, oh, the Cardinals are going to move on from him. Yes, the Cardinals currently have the first overall pick, but that contract means if he's not starting Arizona, he is starting somewhere. When he's been on the field, he's been the QB3, the QB4, and the QB7 in points per game so far through his career. He is a fantasy superstar when he's on the field because of that rushing potential. All 3 of these guys are going to cost you probably multiple first-round picks. Maybe you need to throw in a player plus a pick, but they have got the potential to win you a league. Yes, it is an aggressive move. Yes, it is probably that one all-in move that you will make, but the rewards are them so high to outweigh the potential cost that you have to pay to acquire. If you want to be a little bit less aggressive, there is the Band-Aid that is just going to help you plaster over those cracks and just keep things moving for the short term. Sam Howell. It's ugly. There are times on Sunday he looked like he had a new alarm and couldn't complete a pass. He's taking far too many sacks, but the fantasy production is there. There is a little bit of rushing production, and he's putting some points up. Baker Mayfield, looking like a resurgent quarterback, looking like he's maybe going to earn himself another starting job next year, but we know with those weapons, he's putting fantasy points up. And then Russell Wilson, I'm still very nervous that he might lose his job. Yes, beating the Chiefs has probably kept him the job for a few weeks, but at the moment, he is a solid QB2 for fantasy, and that's what we're looking to replace right now. So they're all a little bit cheaper. I think maybe Baker, Sam Howell, you're paying a second. I think Russell Wilson, maybe you're paying second or third, maybe 2 seconds. But they've all got the potential to just paper over that crack and fill in the need in the short term. And then there is the third option, the cheap veteran. These are guys that are going to give you better production than the Band-Aid options, but not paying the cost of the big swings, and they're safe and reliable. Geno Smith, yes, the production is a little bit all over the place. We saw last year he was incredibly lucky in the red zone. That's regressed slightly, and he's shown quite a few picks in and around the red zone. But with those 3 receivers, with the way this offense is going, he's going to put up fantasy points, and probably for the cost of a contender's first, he seems like a pretty good option. Daniel Jones, hugely undervalued right now, coming off the injury. We know he's going to play this week. We know that when he's healthy and playing, yes, it's ugly and you need to hold your nose or not look at the screen, but he puts up fantasy points. That rushing production is there, and it feels like this offense can't get any worse. And then Jared Goff, he's playing phenomenal football this year. I still don't know about next year and beyond, but the production is there. He's a safe, reliable back-end QB1, high-end QB2. These guys are all going to probably cost you about a first. For me, I think there's good options, there's bad options in all of them. Baker Mayfield is one that I'm really interested in at the cost of a second. Daniel Jones, I think, is criminally undervalued right now. He could come back and produce what he did last year and help carry you to a title. Those are the two that I'd be sniffing around most. But is there someone I miss? Is there someone that you think you should be going out and buying right now? Let me know in the comments below. And also, if you want to find out what you should be doing with Kirk Cousins, go ahead and check out my Rises and Fallers video. I talk about him in there.